Good morning, my knitters. It is February the 29th. It's Leap Day. I should say the year, 2024. And you're watching Recreational Knitting. My name is Karen. Welcome back for all of you who have stuck with me. And welcome to anybody new that has found me. I just wanted you to know that you're very welcome here. Yeah, let me fix my camera here a second. It looks like it's going to fall. Okay, thanks, I'm back. Yeah, I'm not sure it looked like I didn't put it in the tripod correctly, but I did. Anyway, welcome. Glad to see you back. How have you been doing? It's been a crazy week and a half, whatever it's been since I recorded last. Yeah, but stick around for all of that. I just wanted to show you that in that time frame, we got our plantation shutters installed. Those of you that can see them. Now I'm probably all wonky, but let me check. Yeah, so that's exciting. Yeah, that was one of the things that my husband kind of said, I don't care what else we do to the house, but that's really what I want. And you see them a lot here in Florida. So we got them. And they were a lot less expensive than I thought they would be. Unlike our painters, go back and see all that dilemma a few podcasts ago if you missed it. These guys were very professional, did what they needed to do, cleaned up after themselves. Great. So yeah, we're very pleased. So you'll probably see them in the future. Today is, as I said, Sleep Day. This is the extra day that we get once every 4 years. And I'd like to think that I can spend it knitting, but I have a knitting injury. Stabbed by a double-pointed needle. Yeah, as I was getting set up here, yeah, that Band-Aid will not stay on very long, I'm certain, but until I stop bleeding for certain. Yeah, it was just a stab. Could have been much worse. Could have been much deeper. So yeah, I was just grabbing my knitting and I didn't see one that was sticking up. Yeah, that's kind of who I am. Stumbly, bumbly, and stabby, apparently, yes. So, as I was asking, how have you all been? Have you been knitting a lot? I have not. I was sick for about 3 or 4 days last week. Some kind of a viral thing. It wasn't COVID, just, you know, one of those, like, felt horrible. I even had to cancel one of my doctor's appointments because I was afraid that I was going to carry it into the office. So I had to reschedule one of them. But yeah, I've been to 3 doctor's appointments this week. And you know how you always take your knitting to the doctor's office? Because you know you're going to have to wait. I had to wait like 2 minutes at one of the orthopedist's office, and that was it. And the rest of it, I was in the, you know, with the nurse, and then the doctor came on time. And yeah, it's like, stop being on time, doctors. You're never on time. So yeah, so I didn't get a whole lot of knitting done on my hat, but it's okay. I'd rather have the doctors and nurses all be punctual personally, yeah. Even though it did kind of annoy me at the time. So tomorrow starts our make-along, knit-along. Let me get that. Very well prepared. After my stabbing, I just kind of lost it. Our knit-along is the Wisdom of the Moon shawl. And I have a terrible black and white picture of it. It's a free pattern. if you're interested in joining us, great. We'd love to have you. It's by Wool Studio, W-U-L-L. So, and this is a very awful color picture of the shawl because it's my printer. And apparently one of the colors was running low. I'm actually making mine, if you haven't seen it, in, well, here's the white, here's the purple, and I have a variety of stash busting grays that I'm going to be using. So I'm casting that on probably tonight. I'm going to cheat a little bit because it's supposed to be March 1st, right? You can do the same. I'm not really a rule follower, nor am I a rule maker. So yeah, so hopefully you can join us. Someone asked me if I was going to show them how to do Latvian braids. No, I have never made one before. I will be going on YouTube to find the best way to do that when we get to that point. But this is a shawl that I've been wanting to make and put it off because of some of the techniques. And I just decided 2024 was the year that I was going to stretch myself. So I'm going to try to make some Latvian braids and we'll see how that goes. But yes, the lilac is a trendsetter yarn. It's 100% wool. This is a brown sheep yarn that I got at the factory in, I want to say Lincoln, Nebraska, and that's not, it's Mitchell, Nebraska. If you're ever in the area, I would suggest you stop into that mill. Great deals. And then these are a variety of Madeline Tosh, Malabrigo, and I'm not sure what this is, but this is sport weight, heavier fingering. It might even be sport, but this is definitely fingering. So we'll see how it all works out. So I'm hoping you're joining us. It will be running for 3 months. There will be a prize or 2 or 3 at the end. Yeah, I hope we all enjoy it. I'll be talking about it each and every week and showing you my progress on that. And yeah. So put down in the comments if you're joining us and what colors you've decided to use out of your stash, hopefully, because we also have 2 make along, whatever they are, this year. The first one being Whips Be Gone 2024, and I'll put that right here. I have a group on Ravelry. Please post your pictures of your finished objects on there. You can chatter, doesn't matter. As I said, I'm not a rule maker nor a follower. So yeah, so I'm hoping that you're have done a lot of February frog or finish, and you've gotten that kind of gelled in your head, what you're going to finish. And if you frogged some things, put down how many things you frogged. I'm so interested. I think I did 5, and before January, I had frogged 2 more that I had forgotten about. So, you know, I did my cleaning out. So yeah, if you're new to the podcast, I did a series of 3 things to help work from your stash, 3 podcasts, 3 things, Lord. Yeah, 3 podcasts of some ideas that might help you work from your stash and not buy so much and buy with intention. So the second along is Stash Be Gone. We're trying to work from our stashes, and it's Stash Be Gone 2024. I'll put it right here. And again, we have those things on the interwebs at Ravelry. If you have trouble using Ravelry for any reason, just let me know. recreationalknitting@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to put your finished objects, your how much you've used. I have now on my knit-o-meter as of last night, because I knew I was going to film today. I think I have, what was it? A mile? No. 2 miles, 2.1 miles. So I didn't do a lot of knitting in February, and part of that was house stuff, busy stuff, doctor's appointments, and still smiling, still faking it till I make it. Yeah, I'll fill you in at the end if you're not interested in any of my health crap. So yeah, so those are the 2 things that we're doing. Full year, December 31st. So we're going to work down some of our stash and trying not to buy things and trying to get rid of some of our whips. I know some of you have posted some beautiful whips. Very proud of all of you. This month has not been good for me, as I said. So you're here for the knitting, you're here for the yarn, you're here for all of it. So let's get going. Let's see what I've been working on this week. Remember how I said I was not working on socks and I was only working on my sweater to get both sleeves done? Well, I got one sleeve done. This has obviously not been blocked, nor you ought to see the mass of, things I need to weave in. But I did get the one sleeve done. I started the second. I'm ready to go to the blue. So if I work hard on that today, tomorrow, I should be able to get this finished. I said that last week though, didn't I? Yeah, this is what I really wanted to work on, and because life, it just didn't happen. This is the Vibe Tee by Tiff Nealon. It's a great pattern. I love it. I've done some modifications, so I don't know if I'll make it into Leslie of Not Enough Yarn. Never Enough Yarn. Oh my gosh, brain fart. Sorry, Leslie. Anyway, I'll put it right here. Name of her podcast. Good night. All right. My modifications were I didn't put any patterns. The white, because there's 2 different patterns, like an eyelet and then like a slip stitch, mosaic kind of thing. I did not do those in the arms. That would only cause me to, bleep the alert for fat arm alert. Yeah, so I just decided to make those totally stockinette. It's easier, but I also did not want to have everybody looking at my arms. So yeah, so I'm getting there. I tried it on. It fits very nicely. One of the things that I will modify here as well is you're supposed to go back and work some of the neckline. I kind of like the neckline the way it is. Yeah, if anything, I will do an I-cord, but I don't think I'm going to do anything to it. I forget what the pattern says that I'm supposed to do to it, but it's go up. What is this? Funky stitch. Don't know what that is. It's definitely not stockinette. Right at the collar. Oh boy. Maybe I will be doing something with it. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really happy. This is made with 3 of the colors. The blue, green, and the white are made with a discontinued yarn, of course, by Cascade. It's called Roslyn. If you ever find any, feel it if you can. It's beautiful. It's wool and silk. It's really a dream to knit with. Of course, they discontinue it. And the stripy portion here is a hand dyed. I can't remember, but it's got some cashmere in it. So this is a soft one. Yes. Let's see if I can get that back on there. Oh no. So we'll just put that on my ottoman. So that's a little bit about what I've been doing this week. I also found another whip. We're still unpacking the boxes of things, or at least looking in the boxes of things that are still in our garage that, you know, garden tools, Christmas decorations, you know, all the stuff that you don't need immediately when you move. Well, I found a new whip. Yeah. And I've transferred it to Magic Loop because, again, it was on double pointed needles. Yeah, we're not doing double pointed needles for a bit. This is some kind of Regia self-striping. You know, don't read German, but that's what it is, sock yarn. Really, this is my second favorite sock yarn. I think I've tried them all, but this is my second favorite. And this was actually, I should put a marker. It had been started, and it was right here by the gray stripe. So yesterday I had a board meeting that I needed to go to, so I worked a little bit of it yesterday and the day before. So yeah, I've turned the heel, now on the foot. I'm decreasing the gusset as we speak. So yeah, I'm kind of digging it because it's on Magic Loop. So these might get done before anything else. Yeah. So who knows, I might find 3 more whips before this is all over with. My friend's Muscle Bro is progressing quite slowly. This is what I would have used at the doctor's office. This is where I was the last time. So you see that I've only worked maybe an inch of it, but I put a purl row here because from what I've heard from other people, it's easier to fold up. And I decided to make it all one color because she would like really have trouble figuring it out. Otherwise, yeah. So, yeah, so that's at least halfway done. So we're getting there. This is made, again, with a discontinued yarn of the past. This was one of my whips that I found. No, this is one of the yarns that I found when I opened up my storage unit boxes. It's called Henry's Attic, and it's made with 10% Tussa silk and 90% merino. Again, it's just heaven to work with, and I wish I had, you know, like a kilogram worth of this stuff. It's really lovely, and it's a marled look, even though it's only one strand of yarn. It's the silk probably did not dye, or they just put, you know, as they wove it, spun it, excuse me, wrong terminology. Apparently I'm not a spinner, yes. And, yeah, you know, that thing I said I wasn't gonna work on socks. Yeah, well, I had a finished sock last week with you, that I showed you with that. And these just made me kind of happy. So I'm in the middle of working on, I think I need to turn the heel. Yeah, I need to turn the heel on this one. And looky, they're matchy. That never happens. I'm usually off by like 1 or 2 rows. I won't say it never happens, but it rarely happens. But yeah, they're my Florida socks. So this is made with, here's the stabby one that I didn't see when I picked this up. This is made with an opal yarn that the tag is around here somewhere in my room. So yeah, that's all I have been working on. As I said, I haven't done a lot this week. It's, you know, you're sick when for 4 days you don't knit. At least that's my my case. And yeah. Still waiting on my Swift. Those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, go back to my last podcast. Does this make me a Swiftie? Yeah, it's a story of the saga of the Swifts. It's supposed to be delivered today. It was the first one, the first of the replacement ones was sent out last week and supposed to be overnighted FedEx. I'm just going to go on to a little mini rant about FedEx. I've never seen such a poor service that continues to be able to buy names on football stadiums. There, that was a little mini rant, wasn't it? Yeah, everybody complains about the post office. Oh no, give me the post office over FedEx any minute, any day, any week. Yeah, anyway, it's been lost. So Monday, I contacted the person that had supposedly sent this overnight. And since we're a new development where we purchased our home, sometimes if they have an updated software, it might not be on their route. Yeah, that's really not a good excuse for a delivery company, but I'm giving them the benefit. And of course, she told me that it's lost. We don't know where it is. We don't have a tracking number. FedEx didn't scan it. So FedEx, they sent me out another one via FedEx, gave me a tracking number, and as of last night, it was supposedly in Orlando. So we'll see if FedEx delivers today, literally. So I might get a Swift. In the meantime, I gave my cheapy plastic Swift that really still worked, but aggravated me, to my next door neighbor who did not have a Swift. So she was very appreciative. I told her that she had to watch this, area, but it works. And she was delighted to have it. She's, 28, whatever, has a little baby, and I'm sure they, don't have tons and tons of money. He works in the school, she works for social services. So, she was glad to have it. So I only have 2 broken Swifts here. So I don't know whether that qualifies me for Swiftyhood or not, but maybe I'll get a working one today. That'll be the next podcast. Yeah, I'd like to say that I was waiting for that delivery to show you, but that's really not the truth. It's, I just wasn't feeling well. So, and I don't know whether you can hear it in my voice. I feel like I'm Kathleen Turner, yeah, I'm not myself. Anyway, that's really all the knitting, and I have no purchases, but I did want to tell you that I purchased a book, a used book from Thrift Books that I've been wanting to get through my library, and neither library that I have services through in Florida has an audiobook. And it just kind of made me mad that they didn't have it. And so I saw this on Thrift Books and I got it for $3. So this is Rachel Herron, A Life in Stitches. This is the 10th anniversary edition, so 10 years or so ago. Let's see, when was this? Originally, I don't see, that can't be. 2021, so 2 years old. If you've not read this is just such a lovely book. It's a memoir of sorts. It talks about her life what knitting means to her. And it's very enjoyable. I read this much probably in one evening and finished it the next morning. So it's a really easy read. Her subtitle here is Knitting My Way Through Love, Loss, and Laughter. Yeah, it talks about, you know, failed relationships, knitting relationships, moving. She's also a designer. You know, she's a big deal, I guess, but she's also a mainstream fiction writer. So she's a good writer as well as a good knitter. And yeah, I would highly recommend this book to any knitter out there. So go see if your library has it, and thank your librarian that they have it, because mine did not. So, yeah, it's a great book. And she even has a hot water bottle cozy pattern that she came up with way before the hot water bottle cozy became a thing. Her mother is from New Zealand, and it was a thing for her mother when she was a child to sleep with the hot water cozy. I live in Florida, so likely that is not going to occur. And this is a book that I've had on my shelf, and I've never really perused it well. This is by Judith Durant, and she's the person that wrote the One Skein Wonders back 15 years ago or whatever. And this is Increase, Decrease, and it shows exactly what the increase would look like knitted up. Then she shows you how to do it. To me, this is an excellent tutorial for any of you that are looking for maybe kind of designing your own kinds of things, or just learning a new increase or a decrease. She really spells it out. She's got visuals, and she's got words that tell you how to do it. Very self-explanatory. I really, really like this book. And you know, it's funny, I really never went over, I think I got this in a used book sale at my library in Fort Lauderdale, and really never did much with it. And then we went on our trip. So it's nice finding this after a while. But yeah, it's, you know, then she's got this color coded so that, I don't know whether you can see that, but the first half of the book are your increases, and they're in yellow paper. And the second are decreases with blue paper, and my Band-Aid came off. Yeah, there's my wound. I'm feeling rather stabby today. Yeah, right, there we go. So, at least it stopped bleeding. Yeah, this too will heal. But yes, I do really like this. So if you ever see this, the original price on here was $16.95. It's probably worth $16.95 to tell you the truth if I saw this out. It's probably out of print, so maybe you'll find it somewhere online, someplace, or maybe you own this already. But if you don't, highly, highly recommend, just as a resource for those times when we're going to have the zombie apocalypse and we have no internet and electricity and all the things that we're used to. Yeah, you can go to your old paper book and find out how to increase and decrease. Like, that'll be at the top of your list, right? Right. So, life things. Cheers. I don't have any answers to my health. Went to a cardiologist. The old ticker's working. I could have told him that, but you know, United States health insurance really sucks. So those of you in Canada and the UK and wherever you're watching from and you have good medical care, think of us in the United States that have to pay for lousy services. Yeah, I'm on Medicare, so I'm way ahead of most people in this country. But yeah, you have to rule things out, and I understand why a cardiologist probably was recommended. But when you have to wait 3 months to get in to see him to rule something out before you can go to the next step, it's very frustrating. Yeah, very frustrating. So my next stop, I think, is the hematologist. And, you know, if it's anything serious, waiting 3 months to get in to see him, you know, might be dead by then. I mean, you know, who knows? But I have a good heart. Yeah. Went to an orthopedic hip doctor. I don't know whether you have this elsewhere, but most orthopedic guys concentrate on 1 or 2 body parts that they replace joints. And then there's a generalized, you know, broken bone guy, I guess. And then there's back guys and shoulder guys. And I say guys, and that can be women as well, because there's a women surgeon that does shoulders, just shoulders. That's all she does in this practice. And I'd like to say something about, you know, she's probably living on the shoulder of the medical community as well, because she's a woman, but I won't bother you with that. But yeah, so I went to the hip guy. Okay. Since my hip replacement a couple years ago, 2.5 years ago, I haven't been back to anybody because we were on the road. And knees. So yeah, they were priority. My hip wasn't giving me any problems. So in the last 6 months, my hip has started giving me problems. So, you know, again, 3-month wait, got into the hip guy, do the x-rays, and he goes, your hip's fine. It's your back that's the problem. So I have some long diagnosis, but basically it means I'm old and falling apart, and my lumbar discs are almost touching. And that's what's giving me the pain that radiates into my hip. Yeah. It's very funny, but I used to be an aerobics instructor back in my days when I could walk. And I really blame it on that. High impact. Oh yeah. Those of you that are old enough to remember Jane Fonda, I started out doing that in somebody's basement, and, you know, kind of got obsessed with exercising, and, you know, ended up working for Jazzercise and, you know, the whole bit near my home. And yeah, you know, cement floors, bang, 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 bang. Oh yeah. So, and back in my high school days, I was a cheerleader. So it's better to sit and knit than exercise. I am not a medical professional, just speaking from my own experiences. Low impact, swimming, biking, Pilates, stick with that. Don't go running, don't go aerobicing. Don't do any of that high impact stuff. It will kill your knees, back, hips. Yeah. So it's been a week. The good news is that Luke went to the cardiologist and he's got a good ticker. And yeah, he had to wear a Holter monitor for a while. He's got an irregular heartbeat, which apparently is okay to have in certain ways. I'm sure there's a variety of ways that your heart can. Sorry, I got a phone call there from my physical therapist that I go to tomorrow. Yes, so he can leave a message, and yes, I am coming. I've checked in 3 times. Don't get me started. Anyway, so yeah, he's got some kind of irregular heartbeat, but the doctor said he's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, so that's the good news. What have we been doing about the house? We've been, since we had some good weather this week, we went outside and planted a few plants, trying to get spruced up for spring, which is here in Florida. And yeah, it's been beautiful. It was in the 80s. And today it's going to rain and be very windy. And they're already talking about hurricane season, so. Which in this area of Florida, they don't get hammered too hard typically. So we're hoping that we make it through a year with very little issues. So yeah, that's where we're at. What else have I done? I don't think I've done anything else. I've read several books this week as I was ill in bed for a couple days and kind of hanging by the couch the other 2. And I watched a lot of movies or series or whatever. I just finished The Dairy Girls last week. Loved it. Set in the 70s, 80s, 70s. It was in the time of the IRA and Northern Ireland and Ireland. And it's about a bunch of teenage girls and the shenanigans that they get into. It was great fun, but also presented different ways in which I looked at that era. I lived through that era in America and never really understood what it was about. But now I think I understand it. I had read several books 6, 7, 8 years ago about the time, and that explained a lot. But this brought kind of humanity to it, how it affected people's lives and, all of that. This family was Catholic, and yeah, how they were looked down upon where they lived, and it was just really an interesting series. So highly recommend if you're looking for some silly fun with backdrops into some history. And I watched an older series on Netflix, I think it was. It's called The Sinner. Wow. Every season was a different character that a cop from New York State would go to a different community to help that community figure out the crime. The detective himself is a very flawed human being because of his childhood. He's very flawed. I will just leave it at that. And highly recommend this series. If you're like that kind of stuff, I'm not big on that kind of stuff. And this really sucked me in. I think there's 4 seasons. So it's 4 different cases that he was either called in on, slid in on, wasn't invited to do anything on, because he really gets into the psychological piece of these crimes. So very interesting, very good. Good acting, good people. Produced by Jessica Biel. Who knew? And if you don't know who Jessica Biel is, Justin Timberlake's wife. Justin Timberlake's wife. That's, yeah. So, good show. What else have we watched? I've been like kind of obsessed. Oh, I've caught up on my Frankie and Grace, or Grace and Frankie. I never get the right ones. The last show just brought me to tears. If you haven't watched it, it's Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda. And I won't spoil the last segment, but they reunite with someone that they worked with 9 to 5. So, just saying. Yeah, so it was really interesting. And let's see, what else have I been watching? Because I have been watching a tremendous amount of TV. I have caught up on some of my YouTube people that I kind of lost track of during Vlogmas, and I'm starting to catch up. I still have to get to Aquila's stuff, and I still want to make a video, which will likely be this weekend, of podcasters that I really enjoy. Life. I won't explain, you know. So this is not sponsored by Cream City Yarn in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. One of the cutest little yarn shops out there. Yeah, I really enjoyed this yarn shop, and I wanted to support them and still not buy a whole lot of yarn when we were there visiting. Cream City Yarns, if you ever get to Milwaukee, it's kind of out in the suburbs, but worth the drive, nice people. They do have a little, I don't know if it's a podcast or whether they just do shorts on Instagram, but yeah, it's a nice little shop. Okay, let's hope that I get my Swift today so I can really be a Swiftie. And if I get it, watch out for a little short, because I'm going to show it off. Hey, I'm getting too excited about this Swift. I really am. I keep looking at the broken Swift here, the one here in the corner, and going, we don't even have a fireplace that I could burn these things. You know, if I lived in the northern, I could have a nice fire in the evening, but you know, anyway, so I'm not sure what I'll be using them for. You know, I might stick that Swift out to, you know, dry some socks one day. Who knows? Gotta find a purpose for things. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for taking some time out to watch me. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to try to get to my yarn shop locally, maybe tomorrow. And I'm going to try to get back to some knitting and finish this sweater and start my Wisdom of the Moon shawl. Those are my goals for the weekend. Thanks so much. I guess I better put on here that you can catch me on Instagram, and I don't post a lot of stuff there. I try to stay off Instagram as much as possible. I'm trying to do a social media diet because I think it's bad for us. But yeah, I have a Facebook account, just, you know, my personal account, but you can find me on Instagram, Recreational Knitting. I don't do a lot there, mostly here. I have a Ko-fi account, whatever, Ko-Fi. If you feel that, you have the means that you'd like to support me. My goal is Rhinebeck this year. It was for last year, but moving, health, all the things, it just didn't work out for me. So that's my goal, is once these orthopedic problems get attended to, perhaps I will be able to go. That's a goal. I appreciate those that have supported me in the past and continued to support me. It does help because producing content is a little tough sometimes. Yeah, coming up with ideas, things that you think that people would enjoy, and sometimes it, requires purchasing things. A lot of people purchase yarn as a result. So I'm still holding, and I'm hoping that you are holding as well. Put down in the comments if you've not bought anything this year, and give yourself a pat on the back. Wow, it's really impressive when you think about it. I mean, really, all the stuff from social media that comes our way. That's why I stay off Instagram. I don't want to be tempted, but I was almost tempted the other day. I got a surprise email from some dyer that I had subscribed to. And she's back from maternity leave, and she showed such pretty yarns that I thought, but I didn't. So I am going to go to my yarn store soon, and I'll show you what I get with my gift card, because that doesn't count. Yeah, so enjoy your day, enjoy your week, and you know what my saying is, knit in peace. Bye.